So in this video, we're going to take a look at the top 10 things for you to see and do if you're hoping to visit Mallorca on holiday. So if you're a first-time visitor to Mallorca, well, I hope you're going to find this video packed full of information to make the most of your holiday. And even if you are a repeat visitor, well, I hope this video gives you inspiration for things to see and do and get the most out of your trip. The first thing I'm going to say is consider subscribing to the channel if you're new to the channel, because I'm going to be making videos throughout the summer to ensure that you get the very best information and the top tips for you to make the most out of your holiday too. But also, I must make the point as well that don't try and do absolutely everything in this video. This is not a massive tick list, because don't forget you are on holiday and you're here to enjoy yourself. So maybe pick a few things from the list. Don't forget you can just come back and see us again soon. So it's no secret that the attractions are going to be busy this summer, the island is going to be busy, and wherever you are staying in Mallorca, well, you're going to be a short distance from most of the things that I mentioned in this video as well. There's lots to see and do in and around the resorts. You needn't spend a lot of your time on the roads around the island or on public transport either. So get inspired, and these are my top 10 things for you to do if you're coming over here on holiday. Okay, so my first recommendation of what to see and do on the island is actually free, and you have to do this at least once or twice during a holiday, and that is to either catch the sunrise or catch the sunset. Now check my monthly videos for the sunrise and the sunset time so you get an idea of how you can plan your day, but it's one of the best things that you can do over here on holiday, and it's worth the early start, and it's also worth planning as well where you're going to be at the time of sunset as well, because this island gives off the most amazing sunrises and sunsets. They're very picture worthy too, but it's one of my favourite times of the day, whether it's early in the morning or late at night too. Now, just because you're staying on the east coast of the island as well, don't forget as well that you can also experience an amazing westerly sunset from various points on the east coast, and I'll drop a couple of links to spots that I know of in Alcudia, down in Alcudia Port, over on the Old Town walls as well. You can enjoy an amazing sunset from those points too. You can also catch some amazing sunrises in the southwest of the island as well, particularly as well if you're staying over in Palma de Mallorca from Son Matias Beach. I've got an absolutely wonderful sunrise from that point too. You can see that in my video that I filmed at the Son Matias Beach Hotel. It's absolutely stunning, and from any easterly point too as well, you're going to get just the most wonderful sunrises. The one area I would say to avoid to see the sunset is Sa Foradada, which is on the way to Dea. This is one of the very congested areas of the island, and you don't need to pack into that area, which in previous years and recent years has been very, very packed and full of tourists watching the sunset there. We've got the whole westerly coast here. Go and find your own piece of paradise, go and find your own spot and enjoy the sunset, but there's no need to crowd into just certain particular areas too. So my next recommendation is to get out into the amazing blue waters that you can see behind me. I'm down here in Ilietes, and we have a number of boat trips around the island to suit basically any budget as well. Whether you're coming here on a charter or you wish to share a charter as well, you've got various boat day trips too. You're looking at the very lowest level of paying in the region of around 22, 23 euros for a boat trip. This can obviously go up to thousands and thousands of euros too, but the best way of seeing the coastline and getting off the beach, and maybe getting off a busy beach this summer, is to get out and about on a boat trip. So that really is my top recommendation. We have boat trips to go and see the dolphins in the wild. We have boat trips as well that offer coastal cruises and swim stops as well. So I'll drop a few links to some suggested tickets in the description text below, but of course these take place all over the island, so definitely at least spend 1 or 2 days of your holiday out in the water. You're going to absolutely love it. Also, I have another top tip for you as well. If you're looking to go on an excursion, then I really would recommend going on a Sunday, because, well, the beaches here in Mallorca, it's almost resident day on the beaches, and the beaches do fill up on the Sunday. So if you're looking at going out and about on any of the suggested things to do in this video, then maybe pick a Sunday to do that, because residents go to the beach on the Sunday, and, well, the beaches are super busy and you may want to be off the beach on those days. Okay, so my next recommendation for a great local experience is to go and check out one of the fantastic marketplaces that we have on the island. You're going to find local markets taking place every single day of the week at somewhere on the island. I do have a website article listing where those are. You can find that on majorcaunderthesun.com. But whichever resort you are staying in, there's going to be a local market near you, or there's actually going to be a local market in the resort itself as well. I just have to say as well, I have to put out this warning, if you're going to visit the local markets, these two are going to be very busy. Watch your bags, watch your belongings, know where your wallet is, know where your mobile phone is at all times, and I shall drop a link to a video as well which I've made about that too, about crime in Mallorca, and just making sure that you watch out for your belongings if you're in these very, very busy marketplaces. But don't let that put you off, because, well, going to one of the local markets here is just a great local experience to have. It's a great opportunity to do some shopping as well, and to get those souvenirs to take back home too. So, another recommendation while you're over here on holiday, consider visiting the capital of the Balearic Islands and the capital of Mallorca. You must visit Palma. Now, I have to say, if it's a rainy day or a cloudy day, you're going to find Palma to be particularly congested with visitors, because, well, everyone leaves the resorts, they get the bus into the city, or they try and take their hire cars in, and the car parks quickly fill up as well. So I'm just going to leave that thought with you, but go and visit Palma. It also gets very busy as well when we have cruise ships coming in. You can see them down at Palma Port, but take the opportunity to even just spend a morning there, get the feel of the Old Town, do some shopping, go and see the sights, go and see the cathedral. And if you are a first-time visitor in Palma, well, I have a video to help you out with that particular trip as well, because I've got a recommended self-guided itinerary which I've made into a video complete with a Google map as well, which you can follow on your journey as well, and it starts off from Palma bus station, so it's a really handy guide. I will drop a link to that video in the description text below this video as well, to make your experience of visiting Palma just a little bit easier. My other recommendation as well for visiting Palma is to get a ticket aboard the city sightseeing bus as well. That's the quickest way that you're going to get yourself around all the key sites in Palma as well. You're going to get all the information and all the history too on that tour. It's a hop on, hop off bus, so you can get on and off at the key sites at your leisure too. So if you're just visiting the city for a day, well, that's a great way of getting around too. So there's a couple of great options there, depending on how much you want to see, whether you just want to walk around the city and get a feel for the place, or you actually want to go sightseeing and go and take in the main sites. But Palma is not the only old town that you can visit over here in Mallorca, because, well, of course, Mallorca is full of amazing old towns, and, well, I've covered a few on my videos as well on my channel. I'll drop a few links to some of the most popular and some of the best below. But get out from your resort and go and visit your local old town. And if you don't want to go on market day, well, you're going to get a much quieter and probably a more authentic and more local experience too. Get into some of the local bars there, go and try some tapas, go and try some local food, and just have a look around. Even if you're staying down in Calador, which is a very modern resort, it's a purpose-built tourist resort. We've got many little old towns surrounding the resort of Calador, and I actually made a video over the winter highlighting which old towns lie near to Calador as well. You can reach them all by bus too, or by bike if you're on the cycling holiday. So go and check out that video. I'll drop a link to that below as well. But, you know, my advice is maybe go on a non-market day just for that quieter experience. So it's not just the old towns that you should be visiting. Don't forget too that Mallorca has a fantastic calendar of local fiestas or festivals that take place throughout the year as well, and I'd really recommend getting involved in any of these and going to check them out when they're on around the island. Now, when I do make my monthly guides, I try and cover a few of these fiestas, so I do mention them in those, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel to make sure you catch those videos. But I have to say as well that many of the festivals aren't actually advertised until around 2 weeks before the event, so sometimes the dates can never be 100% certain, because well, these fiestas are local traditions and they're really for local people as well. And of course, holidaymakers are very much welcome to come and take part in these and to come and enjoy them as well. But you're not going to find a long lead time on calendar events, unless of course it's something like Easter or Christmas or New Year's Eve. But a lot of the very local fiestas don't tend to take place at certain times, and maybe the weekend may change year on year. So keep an eye on the Facebook page for those. I do try and share a few on the Mallorca Under the Sun Facebook page. Sometimes they get covered in the group as well. Go and check those out too, but normally I'll try and mention when these take place on the monthly guides. Now, I have been to a few local fiestas as well, and I've covered them as well, so I'll drop a couple of links to those in the description text below in the video, and so go and check those out too. Okay, so my next recommendation to get you off the beach and to get you from around the swimming pool this summer is to go underground and check out many of our cave attractions around the island. Now, the biggest and the best are over in Porto Cristo on the east side of Mallorca, and there are excursions that will take you there from, well, wherever you are staying on the island. But I have to make the point that you don't actually have to travel all the way over to the east coast to go and see some cave attractions, because, well, they're all over the island and maybe a little bit less visited by tourists as well. For example, if you're staying over in Palma Nova or Magaluf or Santa Ponsa, we have a cave attraction over in Genova, which is just on the outskirts of Palma. It's a much smaller attraction than obviously you're going to find in Porto Cristo, but it's a cave attraction all the same, and it's very nice as well. It's a lot cheaper, and it just gives you a flavour of what the cave attractions are like over here. So I went there recently. It was very nice, it was very pretty, and it was something else to do if you're over here on holiday. There are also cave attractions over in Arta, in Campanet, in Cala San Vicente. They're all over the island, so check them out. If not, if you want a bigger day out, if you've got kids, then maybe you might want to go to one of the bigger attractions, but also bear in mind this summer they're also going to be quite busy too. Okay, so one of the top things to do as well on the island, if you're over here, particularly in July and August, is to go to the water park. Now, we have 3 main water parks here in Mallorca. We have Hydro Park over in Alcudia, and that's very popular with young families. We've actually got a smaller, younger kids section there in that park. It's absolutely brilliant. If you're coming over here as a group, if you're coming over here with groups of friends, or indeed if you're over here with a family, go and check out Agualand, which is in El Arenal, or Western Water Park, which is in Magaluf. So 2 other fantastic parks. I've made videos as well about El Arenal, and I think I may have included Hydro Park in another video as well, but I'll drop a link to any further information below so you can see what they look like. Now, it's not a cheap day out, I have to say, it's not a cheap day out, but you can make it a little bit less expensive. For example, if you're visiting Western Water Park, if you're visiting El Arenal, make it less expensive by taking your own food, take your own picnic, because these 2 water parks have some lovely park areas as well, which you can lay out on in between going on the rides as well, and you can take your own food in with you. Up in Hydro Park, it's a little bit more difficult. They do say you can't take food in, so I'll leave that to your own discretion if you're going to sneak in a sandwich and some drinks there. But definitely, I really recommend, even in peak season as well, going to the water parks. It's one of the best ways of staying cool over here. But don't forget as well, don't forget to take your water shoes, and you can pick those up in any of the Chinese shops or in any of the tourist shops as well, because, well, the concrete grounds in these water parks does get very hot and you're going to need them. So my next recommendation may come as a little bit of a surprise for anyone who's watched your channel recently, but my recommendation is to go cycling. Now, we're not talking about cycle tourism here, we're not talking about the professional road bikes. I'm talking about renting a bike from any of the resorts, and we've got some amazing cycle areas here with wonderful cycle paths which allow you to see the coastline, and it's a great way of getting out of your resort without having to take a bus or a car. particularly if you're staying over in Alcudia, you can cycle over to Porto Poyense on that cycle path. If you're staying over in Calabona, you can cycle down to Calamilor, you can cycle over to Sacoma and see yacht as well. So you've got those 4 resorts that you can cycle along on that amazing cycle path down there. If you're staying here in the southwest, well, there's another amazing cycle path that goes from just up the road here in Bendenat all the way down the coast, down through Palma Nova, en route to Peguera as well. It's wonderful. We've got some amazing sights, some amazing coastal views, plus loads of cafes as well. You can stop off on the way to get a refreshment as well. So cycle tours tend to be very, very cheap to do. Self-guided cycle tours, you just have to follow the cycle paths, and the hire shops will help you with those routes too. And you can hire a bike here for as little as around 10 to 12 euros for an hour as well. It's something quite inexpensive to do. If you are here with a family with very small kids, don't forget you've got those very popular safari bikes as well. They're always really good fun. You can bundle up your beach stuff on them as well and take them out for the day too. So loads of options here. You don't have to be a super sporty road cyclist to enjoy the very best of cycling here in Mallorca. And finally, to round off your holiday, well, this is a given, but there is so much live evening entertainment that you can enjoy directly from your resorts. Now, you may have seen one of my videos that I made over in Calabona last summer. A lot of the hotels have fantastic live music every night, and even if you're not staying in the hotels, many will allow you to come in and get a drink from the bar and enjoy the live show. So I really recommend that. A lot of the hotels will actually list the acts that they have playing on the evening, so you can almost pick and choose which live show you want to go to. This happens at all the major resorts around the island, so you're not limited to the evening entertainment going on in your hotel. Just bear that in mind. But not only that, because don't forget we also have some fantastic evening entertainment you can get at Son Amar. We've got also some live shows as well at Pirates too, adults only live shows and family shows too. We also have Palma Auditorium as well, where we have some musical theatre, we have comedians, we have concerts going on too. There's a theatre in Palma, there's stuff going on all over the island. You just have to look out for it. Okay everyone, as I have said in this video, do not feel like you have to do absolutely everything I mentioned. Pick a few things from the list, make the most of them as well, and don't forget as well, you're not tied to travelling around the island because there's plenty going on in your resorts. You don't have to go to the most popular old towns. You're going to have an old town near you too. Go and check that out for the best authentic experience. You needn't travel far and wide across the island to get to an old town that just about everyone else is going to, or to get to a market everyone else is going to either. Get out and explore, use the public transport, but maybe see and do things maybe a little bit differently for this summer. Okay everyone, I hope this video has proved useful. I hope it will help you with your holiday. Don't forget I've got loads of guides and travel tips as well on my channel, so consider subscribing, hit that notifications bell as well, because I've got lots more hints and tips coming up for this summer. Don't forget too, you can find me in the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.